Alright, so over the last year or so, it seems like the government has basically gotten to the point where they've accepted that aliens and UFOs might exist without coming out and saying aliens and UFOs might exist, right? They've, declassified a bunch of documents about UFOs, unidentified flying objects that they've had encounters with. They've opened the idea of maybe not being of this world, but they haven't come out and said that, there's a crap ton of UFOs we think are alien stuff. This being another thing where it's like, you're not saying you think there's aliens, but you basically are. Pentagon creates new group to monitor and mitigate threat from UFOs. Anytime a public department gets created, it's something that they've been working on for a really long time in the shadows, right? By the time they make a public department of mitigating UFOs, the CIA, Air Force, Navy, everybody's probably been doing this for 30 years secretly. To me, it just goes to show that this threat is becoming so common that, they need people to think that it's being taken care of, right? Are we going to get to the point where UFOs are so common that we're going to start seeing them all the time? And maybe that's why they're making this department, so you could go, okay, yeah, there's a bunch of UFOs, but whatever. We have the Department of UFO Specialists that are going to take care of the problem. The thing that's wild to me about this is what the military itself has said is a lot of these UFOs just have properties to them which are nuts. Like being able to stop on a dime from going supersonic speeds, being able to shift tens of thousands of feet in altitude in seconds, that type of stuff. Just stuff that's just nuts even if we wanted to figure out what it was in the first place. The Department of Defense is creating a new investigative body to track and analyze unidentified aerial phenomena as concern grows about national security risks posed by UFOs. Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks, in a memo released Tuesday, announced the creation of the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group to assess and appropriate, mitigate, and any associated threats to the safety of flight and national security. Oh man, here we go, baby. Yeah, that's right. Get ready for Star Wars. The only problem I have with this, I know a lot of people out there are very hyped for the day that aliens come or whatever. I'm horrified because we're losing that fight, dude. No offense, man. I think humans are great. We've done some pretty cool stuff. Let's go over some of our greatest hits, right? We got the Great Pyramids. We made computers. We made the internet. We made aircraft carriers. We did a lot of cool stuff. We necessarily haven't been able to develop things as advanced as an alien civilization that's able to wage intergalactic warfare, okay? We're just not at that level. So I'm hoping that they give us at least another 400 years to get our act together, right? Maybe they send a warning now, they want it to be a fair fight, get it together. And then we have to start getting it together. Maybe they want to make it a little bit more even. That's what we're trying to get out here. But currently, the idea of aliens showing up tomorrow makes me horrified. Obviously, the likelihood of that happening is not very large. Don't get it wrong. I'm not sitting here tinfoil hatting. This isn't something that keeps me awake at night. It's just, if I start to think about it too much, I don't like the idea of it happening. The same way I don't like accidentally falling into a pit of quicksand. It's not something I worry about on a daily basis, but if it theoretically happened, of course I would be horrified because I'm a human being. Anyways, we're getting off track, dude. Once the government starts publicly spending money on something, though, like this, a public division to investigate that stuff, to me, it's all right, now we want to get it even more money. Because let's be honest, most of the Department of Defense budget, nobody really knows exactly where it goes. There's so many secret projects, that type of stuff. So once they get it to this point, I know that they've probably been doing it in the background for quite a while, right? The move comes after the U.S. Director of National Intelligence in June 2021 gave a report to Congress about unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAPs. The report identified one of the 144 UAP cases as large deflating balloons. Observers in 18 incidents described unusual UAP movement patterns or flight characteristics, which suggested advanced technology. Alright, the only other thing that kind of eases my mind just a little bit, and this doesn't ease my mind an incredible amount, it's just something I think of. I think sometimes this might be the United States way of flexing some new technology that they don't want to necessarily come out and say that they have yet, but at the same time they want people around the world to be whoa, what is that UFO that the United States found? Whose is that? Whose is that? And I think if we're publicly acknowledging it and mentioning it, chances are we probably either know what it is or definitely have made it and we just kind of want everyone else to know about it. Because let's be honest, the government keeps secrets from us all the time. They wouldn't be coming out talking about these physics-defying UFOs unless it was something that we understood a little bit about, right? They're not just going to release that information to the public if they literally know nothing. I think this might just be a subtle way to let everybody know that we got some pretty cool stuff that you guys don't want to mess with yet. And a lot of that also comes from the fact I live in Las Vegas, which is near Area 51, and my family's been here for a long time. And it used to be a situation where there wasn't really much around, like the city wasn't huge. And my great-grandpa told this story about how for a while he would like see sometimes, not very often, this like triangle-shaped black thing flying in the sky that was silent, and he thought he was nuts. Keep in mind, this is in like, you know, the 50s, the 60s, down around Las Vegas. We'll come to find out, I mean, probably a little later than that, 70s, 80s. I don't know exactly when this down. It was a long time ago, okay? Regardless, come to find out, basically, when the B-2 bomber gets revealed, he realizes that that's what's been flying overhead. So there's been history before, you know, that I've heard of where people have mistaken new military aircraft for UFOs, and it wouldn't surprise me if we're trying to flex a little bit. When the report was released in June, Hicks said the Department of Defense would establish procedures to synchronize collection, reporting, and analysis on the UAP problem set to establish recommendations for securing military test and training ranges. The new group, which will succeed the Navy's UAP task force, will be established by Ronald Moultrie, the Undersecretary of Defense for the Intelligence and Security Department, the DoD said. Alright, man, so, like, when the Department of Defense also starts to congregate everything and be like, okay, we need whatever they have, let's get it all together. Something juicy's happening. We're probably not gonna know for a very long time. The government, like I said, loves to keep things hush-hush, usually for a good reason. That being said, I doubt we will know for a considerably long period of time exactly what was going on here, if ever. You know, they still don't really tell us too much about what went down at Roswell or most stuff that a lot of people have a lot of questions about, which is why they have a lot of questions about them in the first place. All in all, this is an interesting direction, though. Are we going to be spaceborne soon? You know, are we going to have a Halo situation where we're going to make Spartans and fight some Flood? Like, what is going on? I want to know so bad. I don't ever want to actually be in the government because that sounds awful and terrible and like the worst way I could possibly spend my time. But if there was one thing I could do for like a day, it would be able to be president just to like learn all the stuff. You know, I wouldn't make YouTube videos about it. I promise. If the president's watching this, just let me know. I won't tell anyone. I just want to know so I can know, man. The curiosity killed the cat or whatever. Like, I really wish I could know. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. And, of course, subscribe if you're new. Turn on notifications. And, yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys all next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.